What's happening, people? I'm here with the main man.
It's the champ.
Make sure you tune into Pep Talk UK, where it talks boxing and
big up.
Thank you, AJ.
Shout out Pep Talk. Tune in, follow them, subscribe. It's super middleweight champion Craig Spider Richards. Pep
Talk UK.
It's time! Everyone talk good game, but it don't really faze me. The man that ain't mad like Max, the boy that not murky like Ace B. And them guy walk the slide on the back, balling like a baby.
Oi, oi! Welcome to the Pep Talk UK Sports Podcast. The podcast that talks the major boxing and football news from around the globe. Real points of view from a real panel. Hashtag real talk on Pep Talk. Please subscribe to Pep Talk UK on iTunes and YouTube. Don't forget to like, share and comment. I'm your host, Frankie B, and I'm joined by a sick panel today. Firstly, I'd like to welcome from the capital city of France, Paris, Pascal. How are ya?
Bonjour à tout le monde. Pascal est de retour. I am back, Frankie B. I am back.
Back in the building, yeah?
Of course.
Pascal, we haven't had a good time over here. We've had some terrible events in London last weekend. We need your prayers in Paris, my friend.
Yes, of course. It's been a very terrible news all across the world, notably London and Manchester, in such short space of time. It's very, very sad. And I have a message for the people out there who are trying to commit atrocities, that we are all very united here. And they should take the example of Pep Talk UK. We all come from very different places, different genders, different ethnicities, but we get on really well. So please listen to Pep Talk UK, put the arms down, and let's have some banter.
Yeah, we spread peace and love around here. Now, Pascal, you want to shout out your social media, brother?
Yes, of course. My social media is Pascal_DeSade at Twitter and Instagram. Pascal_DeSade. Merci beaucoup.
Yeah, the bad mouth of Paris. Right. Finally, I'd like to welcome a man that is a champ. The man that is the Southern Area Super Middleweight Champion, hailing from South London. It's Craig Spider Richards. How's it going, bro?
It's going good, it's going good. Just in full effect, working hard as usual.
That's it. Work hard, play hard.
We'll play later. We'll just keep working hard for now.
So how does it feel when you walk into the barbershop with a belt now?
Feels great. It feels good.
I bet you that's a free shape up, yeah?
Oh, it has to be. I should be getting free stuff all the time now. I'm playing. It's a good feeling though. It's nice. Hopefully first of many.
Yes. Another thing as well, you're also the JD Undisputed Press-Up Champion as well, my friend.
Yes, I am. I'm collecting everything. I'm here to take over.
Do you know what? I've tried to do a few press-ups myself, but I can only manage about 5, without collapsing.
Yeah, it's not easy, is it?
It's not easy, man, especially when you're packing on the pounds like myself, But it's all good, man.
I've got some training with me too.
Bro, once I leave the jollof rice alone, mate, I'll be good to come and train with you, bro.
Oh, you got the jollof pounding and pounds on, yeah?
Bro. Now, bro, we just had recently, it's been confirmed that you're fighting at the O2 July the 1st. Summertime Brawl. How's preparations going?
Going good. Of course, I've had to kind of wind down a little bit this week because originally I was booked from the 3rd of June at the O2 Arena, so my body kind of was peaked. But it's alright. We just wound down this week a bit and then pick it back up as of this later part of the week.
Right. And what are your plans for towards the end of 2017?
Hopefully pick up another title. That's what we're looking at. More titles.
Yeah. So you're gonna tell Eddie to make the fight, Eddie. Make the fight.
I said make the fight happen.
Cool.
I heard Errol talk about strap season. He inspired me. I've got to pick up more belts.
So is it man down for your opponent come July the 1st?
Yeah, come July the 1st. It's got to be man.
Man down, man then roll.
You know how it is.
Okay, cool. All right, guys, before we move on, we're going to have a short moment of silence for those that lost their lives in the terror attack in London last week. All right, guys, please after me, let's say, pray for London. Pray for London.
Pray for London.
Pray for London. Pray for London.
Yes.
Pray for London.
Indeed, indeed. Ladies and gents, for the fight fans locked in, for the football fans locked in, now it's time for some real talk on Pep Talk. Let's go! So we start with the boxing, and the big announcement last weekend was the confirmation that Adrian Broner is going to fight Mikey Garcia July the 29th. Now Pascal,
Wait.
it's a mouth-watering fight on paper, but we don't know what Adrian Broner is going to turn up on tonight, do we?
We certainly don't know, Frankie B. You know, Frankie B, I was thinking about this before, and I think that Adrian Broner is the boxing version of Mario
Balotelli, yeah. Real talk.
They're the same people, you know. They both got very good talent. When they decide to put their minds to it, they can become very, very respected, good athletes. But they just don't seem to apply themselves to their sport. It's just a bit frustrating, you know. And for Adrian Broner, I mean, if he's not involved in car chases or jail time, you know, he can otherwise be a good boxer. And for this fight, he's going to have to very much focus, and because Mickey Garcia is a very good fighter.
He don't play games. Yeah.
He doesn't play games at all. And, you know, Mickey Garcia needs a big name in his CV, you know. He wants to become a household name. He wants to become more popular. And what's the best way to do that if he could beat Adrian Broner? You know, and Broner himself needs to be back into contention for something a bit more, you know, serious. We don't really know what Broner wants to do anymore. We don't really know whether he wants to be a rapper, whether he wants to be a boxer, or whether he wants to be, you know, from the hood.
Yeah.
He's very much, he's very confused, and I think it's a very good fight. In terms of the style of the fight, you know, Broner likes to march down his opponents, and he's not as mobile as we would like him to be. And Garcia has a very good jab, you know, very effective jab. And also, he's a very strong puncher. Yes. You know, with him, he's been able to knock out his opponents.
We saw that in his last fight, didn't we?
Of course, yeah. He's very, very good right hand. So I expect the fight to be a very, very close fight in some instances, because Broner himself has got very good power and very good speed.
Especially at 140.
At 140, he was very much a deadly fighter. 147, I think for me, was a bit too much of a step for him, too much higher. But at 140, he's still very much a problem, as he likes to call himself. But will he have discipline to go down to 140, Frankie B? That's my concern, because, you know, against Granados, he didn't have the discipline. Maybe because Granados didn't excite him. Maybe he wasn't excited for the fight. It was just a keep busy fight, you know. But one thing that Granados did expose is that Broner looked very bad in that fight, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You know, he wasn't a very good victory. And against Garcia, Broner will not be able to do those mistakes, you know. Garcia will exploit him, and Garcia will punish him. Yeah. But I don't think that Garcia can knock out Broner. but I think it'll be a very close fight. And Garcia, on paper, for me, wins the fight because of the quality and because of his discipline in the ring. You know, as Craig Richards will tell you, a lot of the fights are won in the boxing gym. You know, not necessarily in the gym, in a main event. Sorry. So I expect Garcia, the more disciplined of the two fighters, to win by split decision.
Will he come out to Baby Sham, Mr. Mikey?
That'll be very nice. That'll be very nice, but I'm not sure that the Mexican will understand or will approve. So he'll probably come out to a Mexican song, you know.
Now, Craig.
Yeah.
The fight's at 140 pounds and it's a 12-rounder. Broner hasn't made the weight for 2 years. Does that give Garcia the advantage, do you think?
Sometimes when you're coming down, it can really take it out of you. Depends on how quick you can make the weight. A lot of fighters really try to drain down and put all their nutrition and rehydrate within that 36 hours. It works for some, doesn't work for others. Depends on how bad it was going through that weight period for fighters.
Because he walks around usually at 180, he says.
Discipline. His discipline is pretty bad at that weight this time. He's walked around, I think he said about 150, 155. So it shouldn't be so hard for him to make this time.
Have you seen his Instagram lately? He seems like he is, a little bit overweight.
Yeah, so he's probably in 180 again. Don't him. He's so up and down each day, each week. You don't know exactly what Pascal said. You don't know what Broner you're going to get. That's the problem. If you get the best Broner, he's no one should be able to beat him. 140. But then when you get Broner who's not focused, is when you can really take advantage of the opportunity.
Do you think Broner should have been the next Gervonta Davis? He should have been the next Mayweather.
I think that he could have been probably bigger than Gervonta Davis. He would have been exactly like him. If the problem with Broner is just his mind is just everywhere. It's like when he got Maidana, he gave it his all. Although he lost and he got dropped, he gave it his all. His mind was there. He just got beaten by the better man. But when he boxed Sean Porter, his mind wasn't there, and that's why he disappointed me for that fight, because he could have gave a better account of himself.
147 is just not his weight. You know what I mean? He reigns supreme at 140 and he's never been beaten at 140, so it could be 147 is just not for him.
Yeah, I believe that. I don't believe he's a 147. Fine. And when you take that away from like Broner, he finds it very difficult. He wasn't in his greatest training camp when he boxed Fear Pain, but you could see he could overwhelm him.
Yeah. And weight again was the problem in that fight.
Yeah, weight again.
Hey, but macaroni, cheese and jerk chicken, it tastes good, mate.
I know, it's hard to say when people are giving you good food. You got that money as well.
That's what I'm saying.
You're not really going down to shop about a salad, you got about the jerk chicken and maybe some curry goat.
But you can have the curry goat with salad, right?
You could. But, it's best to train hard. You can have it with rice and peas then.
It's all about the portion size. Now, Pascal, Adrian Broner, at lightweight, as we were saying, he's never been beaten at lightweight. But Garcia's moving up a weight. Does this give Broner instead the advantage?
Well, Broner has got some power, and I guess Garcia, you'll probably need that extra power, to be able to rehydrate and to put on the weight that he needs to be fighting. But the problem with Broner is not the advantage for Broner. I don't think exists, Frankie B. My main concern is the state of mind of Broner. In many instances we've seen that he's a very troubled individual.
Do you know what, though, Pascal? I think he needs Shannon Briggs as his motivational trainer, mate. Let's go, champ.
Let's go, champ.
Well, I think so too. I think he needs that support, and I'm not sure whether the Floyd relationship has kind of hurt him, where he feels like Floyd has dumped him for Gervonta Davis. He's just not coping very well with the breakup, but it seems to me that Broner, let's face it, Broner was a bit hyped, he was making waves at 140. He was knocking out opponents. He was performing really well. The time where Mayweather was announcing his retirement and people were looking forward to a replacement, Broner took on that persona, started to emulate Floyd for the Floyd that was selling tickets. Broner took this upon himself to model himself on him, and unfortunately against Madonna,
yep,
that backfired really badly. And he didn't handle it very well. The defeat he didn't handle very well. Though that was one of the greatest fights I've seen Broner in his defeat. He fought very well, very valiantly, but we soon realized that he wasn't the world-class fighter that we thought he was. And I think that Broner began to have doubt in his own ability, and saw that again against Sean Porter, where he could have fought a better fight, and again he lost again. So I think Broner is beginning to doubt himself, and because he's beginning to doubt himself, I think the discipline in the ring is not as much as it could be, and that's why we have where we have right now with Adrian Broner. He seems to me he's only fighting for the money, because I really don't see what these ambitions is, Frankie B. I mean, what does he want to achieve? You got Terence Crawford at 140, who's a better fighter, in my opinion, than Adrian Broner. And I really don't know where Adrian Broner wants to go in his career. We don't know where he wants to be. So, because of that, I've got no choice but to back Garcia, because Garcia seems to be the more determined, the more disciplined fighter. And to me, Broner seems to be fighting for the dollar bill, and
But when you think about it though, when you say about Broner, his mindset that he's actually lost about Porter, Maidane, it knocked his confidence, and that's why he didn't perform at Porter. You got to think, when he fought Porter, it was at 147, right? He in his mind, it's acceptable for him to now lose at 147. At 140, he's still unbeaten. He's still the man in his head at 140. So that loss won't necessarily affect him when it comes to fighting Garcia, because he feels that I'm the man at 140. And recently, people are saying, you're not going to go down the hall of fame. I feel that you're not running things no more and you didn't live up to expectations. His stance like I am. I'm still Adrian Broner, just because I lost a couple of times. So now he's got something to prove. That's the difference now. Now he's going to come out and show everyone I am still Adrian Broner and I am the king at 140. So still he's got a lot to prove, where I feel like this fight's going to be a big fight. I think we're going to see the festival.
But you know what, Craig, I can kind of agree with you. When you take an L, it does affect your confidence. But back in the day, when I used to play Street Fighter, and I never used to lose, I lost one match, and all of a sudden, I couldn't really respond. You know what I mean?
You couldn't bounce back. But then, if you lost with Ken and you picked Chung Lee,
it was all about yeah.
No, that might be a justification. So that's how he feels.
I'm telling you though, Craig. Like when I lost with Ken, I had to switch it up and play Akuma, mate. Then there was problems.
But I mean, it certainly. Where was the last fight we saw Broner in a blockbuster fight? I think Garcia fight for him will be for boxing purists like ourselves. It's a credible fight, because Garcia is a very good fighter. He's, in my mind, he's an elite fighter. He certainly has elite skills, and it will be very interesting to see how Broner performs against Garcia. And if he's the man at 140, then let him remain at 140. But Broner has said himself that he struggles to make the weight, So I'm even concerned as to whether the fight will take place in the first place, because even for Garcia, let's not forget, Garcia is also going up to 140. Exactly. He's a 135 pounder, so 140.
Garcia, there's not a question. Garcia carry the power.
I believe he can carry the power.
He carries the power.
It's a big step up as well.
Is it going to be fast? The big step up, big opponent, so it's both on the line. Both of them are making adjustments to this fight, both changes.
Right, well, we'll see what happens. So, Craig, you're going for Garcia or Broner?
I'm hoping Broner. I like Broner. And I don't like when people write people off in boxing just for what all the wins he's had and all the belts, 4-time weight champion. I don't think because of 2 losses people should write him off.
Yeah. But he's a nutter though. That's the only thing. He's a bit of a nutter though. That's the only thing.
He's a character. People need characters like him in boxing.
So you're going for Broner? Cool.
Entertainment. Yeah, Broner. Hopefully Broner. Don't let me down, bro.
All right, guys. Big announcement this week, and that's your new stablemate, Craig. Joshua Buatsi. Matchroom makes his pro debut July 1st on the same card as you, my friend. Great signing, isn't it?
Yeah, very good signing. Good signing, good Olympian, good fighter. So, yeah, he's very, very good. Everyone was excited about him in the Olympics. He was doing what he was meant to be doing in the Olympics. He was getting stoppages in the Olympics, and these are good caliber of fighters he was beating. So he looks like he'll definitely suit the pro game and have a good career.
And that's more South London influence in Matchroom, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Another South Londoner.
Hey, we need actually, yeah, we need some representation from like Luton and Dunstable, man.
No, South London's running things right now.
Do you know what? It's all about Bagel King.
Yeah, it comes down. Got to go big. To be fair, that's how we're also strong. No, I'm joking.
It's all about apple crumble from Bagel King. Now, Pascal, you can't eat that. Yeah, that's true.
Wait,
Pascal, how far can Joshua Buatsi go in the program?
Well, I think they can go very far. I certainly saw the press interview, and he seems to be a very, very level-headed individual. He had a lot of offers on the table, not just Matchroom, but if you remember, Floyd was a big admirer of the bronze medalist, and he said he could one day become a world champion. So, for every boxer that turns pro, certainly most of them have got aspirations to become world champions. So I believe that, that the Buatsi certainly he's well prepared mentally for it. He's certainly in that sport to become a champion, and he wants to become world champion. It's very much achievable. But one thing that Joshua Buatsi has to consider is that it's a very talented division. And another name that comes to mind is Anthony Yard, who's also making waves in England in that division as well, fighting for a European title very soon. And are those two potentially in a crash collision? I mean, you've got Matchroom against Box Nation, the Yard against Joshua Buatsi. I mean, that'll be a very good fight, very good fight. Of course, Buatsi has to prove himself. He has to prove himself.
Sorry, I missed the name you said. Who do you say against Buatsi? Who would be a good lineup?
Anthony Yard.
Oh, yeah.
Call me a yardie.
Yeah.
Anthony Yard and Buatsi will be a very good prospect, but Yard has more experience at professional level. But we now need to see how well Buatsi is going to be performing at that level. But I can certainly see a good, domestic blockbuster fight.
I don't think it's going to come into experience with them sort of fights, because you got Anthony Yard has got more experience in the professional game. Buatsi's got a lot bigger pedigree in the amateur game. We're talking about Linton, who's probably had maybe 150 fights, where Yard has had a very small amateur career. So it all kind of moves and roundabouts, really.
Right. So it could be a mouth-watering prospect. It could be a very good fight between the two. But I still think that the profile of Joshua Buatsi needs to be raised professionally. The general public know who he is because of his achievement at the latest Olympics. But it's certainly, again, as I said before, Great Britain producing yet again another crop of good fighters. And again, Buatsi said on the news that he was very much looking forward to a professional career, and that being in England is certainly the place to be for any British boxer, is to remain in the country. And what a better way to sign with Eddie Yard's Matchroom, who have been making waves in boxing. So I certainly wish... To
be fair, Pascal, sorry to interrupt, but it kind of fits the model. young, hungry fighter with a lot of pedigree.
Yes, of course.
All day long.
Yeah, you know, he's clean cut. He seems to be very, you know, presents himself very well to the public. So, you know, I think the public will be very much in there to him. He's another Joshua also, you know. I understand that Anthony Joshua has also signed him to his sort of marketing stable too. So he's certainly going to be looked after quite well, you know. As you know, the important thing, as I was talking to Craig Richards off air, is to remain free from the women troubles, you know, and
the groupies.
He should just concentrate on his boxing, you know, and he can certainly go very, very far, you know. And it seems to me that the kind of boxer that will apply himself in the gym and that wants to achieve the very best. So, you know, let's wait and see. But yet again, another good prospect for British boxing.
Yeah, definitely not a good prospect.
So, Craig, sorry to interrupt, but mate, it's funny. Your nickname's Spider, and there's some like massive spider like crawling right next to me at the moment, mate. Papa Shango movements.
You kept calling my name so hard. Come to look out.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, definitely. So how far do you think Joshua Buatsi can go? Do you think he can be a world champion?
You won't know until he's on the stage and we see him perform. But he's definitely got potential to be. Yeah, definitely has potential to be. So it's just, I know he's going to obviously apply himself. He's reached a high level as an amateur, so you can see obviously knows how to apply himself, discipline himself doing that. Just to see how much he can now come into the pro game, how much he can adapt and suits him, but etc. It's because obviously amateurs and pros are two different games, but he looks like very different game. But he looks like he has the fundamentals to make a good pro, and we just wait and see. He's gonna, early in his career, I can see him getting a lot of knockouts early in his career. And as he moves up, time will tell. But I feel he can adapt and probably do well for himself.
So, what's the Matchroom's initiation? Do you lot all go to a Ministry of Sound or something like that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Guys, we're going to move on to the final boxing topic, and that is the latest news that we could be seeing very soon. AJ versus Klitschko Part 2. Wow.
Yes.
Now, Pascal, it's the second serving, mate. Are you looking forward to this one, if it happens?
You know, Frankie B, I've got mixed emotions about this one, you know, because, I mean, it was a very entertaining fight. It was a very good fight. AJ showed his true character, his spirit. Vladimir showed his class, but also showed his age as well, you know, and I'm just wondering whether would it be as good as the first fight? Is it necessary to have a sequel? Well, I would much prefer for Vladimir Klitschko to fight Deontay Wilder or to fight Joseph Parker for a world title belt.
But it seems like it's all about timing, though.
It certainly is timing, but, you know, we've seen Wembley, you know, filled with very, very large numbers. But is it also, I mean, you know, I'm a bit of a conspiracy theorist, but is it also a way for AJ to deflect the opportunity to fight Tyson Fury? I mean, you know, Tyson Fury was able to bamboozle Klitschko. Can Tyson Fury also bamboozle Anthony Joshua? We don't know. But to me, the Fury fight is a much more riskier fight than the Klitschko rematch. So, is it better for AJ to fight somebody that he's already fought before, that he already knows, that he can already beat, and also make some good numbers, make some good money from? Or is it a bigger risk to face the big Mancunian to defend your title when he has a very much an awkward style, so awkward that he doesn't know himself what he's doing, and confuses his opponents as well? So it's certainly, I don't know. I really don't know how to take this one, Frankie B. I think that is not going to be as entertaining as the second fight. It will be a much more cagier affair because Klitschko will be very much of AJ's power.
Yep.
so he will not be as free. He will not move as freely as before. He'll be
Pascal. You mean to say Klitschko will be wary of AJ's dragon punch?
Yes, of course. Yeah, I think he'll be very much aware of that because he knocked him down, and he knows the power is there. And equally, Joshua will also realize that Klitschko has still got the power to put him down. So
yes,
that could potentially be a 12-rounder, where there's more boxing involved in that and less fighting. But for me, I would rather that Klitschko goes over to America and fight Deontay Wilder, because I want to see how Deontay Wilder fares up against Klitschko. And if Wilder knocks out Klitschko, then we have ourselves a superb mega fight with Anthony Joshua in the near future. And if I was advising the Klitschkos, I would say to Vladimir Klitschko, let's go to America, let's challenge Deontay Wilder in America for one shot at the WBC, and let's see how good Deontay Wilder is,
But I would have done it if I was Klitschko. I would have gone to Joseph Parker first, then back to Joshua.
Well, that's a very easy fight for Klitschko. No disrespect to Joseph Parker, but I can see Klitschko taking out Joseph Parker relatively easily. And you think about the preparation that is needed to fight and to go to boxing, the press conference in America, and let's face it, Deontay Wilder needs the high profile fights. He's not fought anybody credible. Joshua showed his credibility. It's now up to Wilder to show his credibility. And I think for Klitschko, it's an opportunity for him to go to America one last time to show that he can still become the WBC world champion. And if I was Klitschko, I would rather concentrate on that, arrange a fight at the MGM Grand in America, bring back heavyweight boxing in America, so that there could be a big showdown in England or somewhere between Deontay Wilder and AJ. But certainly that would be the route I would prefer to see, rather than a rematch.
So Craig, would you say this is going to be even earlier stoppage this time for AJ?
Yeah.
Is Klitschko doing the right thing?
Yeah, I think that AJ will stop him a lot quicker. I think Klitschko is going to feel like he's going to watch the fight back, because I was outboxing at times. If I didn't get caught with that shot, then I'd have won it. But AJ's going to have a different mentality. He's thinking about the man he used to spar, the man he learned off. He came in there with so much nerve. Now he realises he can do it. He's going to settle down and he's going to see where he went wrong. He's got good coaches around him. So he's just going to close him down quicker this time and try to get into a fight. And I feel like now go back to how he usually comes in the ring and blow him away a lot quicker. I think it'll be more explosive. I think he put too much muscle on for this fight.
Yeah. But do you think, obviously, Joshua himself will be a little bit more cautious, because Klitschko, I ain't gonna lie to you, Klitschko impressed me last time out.
No, he did. He did impress me as well. He actually looked light on his feet, energetic.
Yeah,
he was clever. Yeah. Even the way he set up the 1-2 to knock Joshua down was very clever. It was calculated. So, I think people underestimate Klitschko just from the loss from Tyson Fury, but he's a very clever boxer. He's very smart. So I think Joshua realises that now. He's been in there. He can see his best assets, his flaws, and I think with the coaches around him, they'll nail it down exactly what he needs.
Indeed.
Well, Joshua hasn't got much to check. Only thing people are going to say is that he should have just taken out Joshua while he had him hurt, while he had him tired. But people don't realise when you're scrapping at that intensity for 5 rounds, you ain't got the energy just to take someone out like that. Mm-hmm. He was just as tired when Joshua was tired.
But you know what I like about Klitschko last time is, even that he got knocked down first, he never got disheartened. He eventually came back firing and got his own knockdown, which showed me the mark of a true legend, mate. Yeah,
his experience showed, didn't it? He never panicked, and he got straight back into it.
Craig, please, if you can tell Eddie to make the fight, Eddie, make the fight.
You can tell Eddie to make the fight.
Make the fight, Eddie. Right.
I'll tell Eddie.
Now it's interview time. Our boxing correspondent Shaz caught up with the undefeated Sanjeev Singh Sahota, who was on the Billy Joe Saunders versus Casidas card on July the 8th at the Copper Box Arena.
Pep Talk UK are joined by a young Essex lad. I don't know if he's going to give me a right hook for saying that, but he's someone I've got a lot of time for. He's the Singh in the ring, Triple S, Mr. Sanjeev Singh Sahota. How you doing, Sanjeev?
I'm very good, thank you. How are you?
Sanjeev, I feel you've gone below radar. Not a lot of people have kept an eye out for you, but you're already 7-0.
Yeah.
You bring the dhamaka, which means the noise, to boxing venues, because the last time I was at the Copper Box, I had Uncle G sitting behind me, smashing away on one of them big drums, going, Sanjeeva! So,
we certainly do bring a crowd. Look, at the end of the day, I like it in a way, and being under the radars a bit, and then let the people talk for me. Like we're on People Talk now, let the people talk for me, and I'll make the sound in the ring.
Now, background, what got you into boxing?
I moved to Spain as well. I was at the age of 12, 13. I was a bit of an overweight child kid. I was no good at football. Got into the programme The Contender, was showed by Sylvester Stallone and Sugar Ray Leonard. And I got hooked into the programme and I decided to go to the boxing gym. Went to the boxing gym, first day was no good, and just from there to now.
Training wise, what's your training routine?
Training routine changes all depending on how far the fight is. So let's just say we were going on 8. To be honest, I've not stopped all this year because I want to achieve my goals, and I've been very busy this year and I've been training all the way through. But normally what we do is like 4 weeks out of the fight or 6 weeks out, we start with doing the intensive heavy weights, getting good quality sparring in, the long runs, building the mileage up, and then slowly dropping the mileage on the runs and stuff, and working on speed, dropping the weights when it comes closer to fight night, and then sharpening tools. But like 6 weeks out, we're normally doing all the heavy stuff, which is core, building your power, building your strength, and then when you're coming towards fight night, just sharpening all the tools up then.
Who are you trained by?
I'm trained by Dominic Negus, Lenny Butcher, they're my trainers. Then I also have my nutritionist Paul, who does all my dietitian and nutritionist. My physio, Lee, he does all my sports therapy, massages. I'm also come down this Fitness First gym as well. Nigel, he helps me use the facilities here in Fitness First Romford. So that's it, and even when I'm in Spain, we do all the sparring with all the different lads out there, with Martin Patrick and Kiko Martinez, and either here we've got a great little camp, great little teammates, so it's all good.
One thing you like about being a boxer, one thing you hate about being a boxer?
There's so many things you can like. I think one of the best things that I've really realised with time now is once you get that win, that 30 seconds after the win, when they lift your hands up, you see them smiles on the people's faces, and this when you think, right, this is why I do all the things that I hate, getting up in the early mornings. The things I think I hate about boxing really is, it's not that you hate it, it's just the things you have to go through, probably being away from family, and sacrifices. A lot of people don't. I enjoy the training too, and so I like to keep busy. I don't like to stop training too. Either I get told that sometimes, go wherever. I don't like to be sat on the sofa. I want to get training. I want to. Why I'm hungry. I want to get all the best for myself. But I think one of the best things I really do enjoy about boxing is probably after that win and seeing that, having that feeling. It's a feeling that you cannot describe. Is when you win and that achievement, and you think, okay, this is why this is done. That's why you put your body through what you put yourself through, and you sacrifice all the foods and everything you sacrifice, and that's it really.
Well, we at Pep Talk are going to be there fight night. Brilliant. I'll be shouting you on. I'll be like trying to get that stick off the drummer and try and bash it a little bit. I'm sure the noise will come with you. I'm sure the fans are going to come with you. For people listening in for the first time, in terms of hearing your voice, knowing who you are, if they want to give you a follow, what's your social media handles?
They can all follow me just with my name, Sanjeev Singh Sahota, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and that's it really. Give me a shout out on there, and thank you guys, Pep Talk, everyone who's supporting me, and everyone, all the fans, all my teammates and everyone, my trainers, my sponsors, East End, Pro Nutritionists, St Matthew's Healthcare, and also the Seek Channel, which are giving me coverage.
Sanjeev, I'm sure I'm going to be speaking to you a lot more often, a lot more frequently. Go get them, Tiger.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Cheers, buddy. See you later.
Thank you, Shaz. Cracking. Right, now it's football time. And before we move on, we have to send our condolences to the family of DEONTAY, the former Newcastle United midfielder who passed away, age 30. Right, now let's talk the Champions League. Guys, Pascal, we saw Real Madrid make light work of Juventus in the end. Mate, they were truly superb.
They were very good. It was like Craig Richards in a ring, goals coming from everyone.
I love that, Pascal.
Yeah, well, of course, you know.
Give me a big head.
He's after some free ringside tickets, Craig.
After the free tickets, you know what, with them compliments, you never know.
But you know, we always said that Juventus defense was very good. Allegri is a very good coach. He knows how to organize his Italian team like the Roman army. Mm-hmm. But, you know, the French, Zinedine Zidane, came with Napoleon skills, you know. And as a result of the mobility, the speed that Real Madrid possessed, they were able to break down the defense quite well, you know. And the first came in very early when Ronaldo scored a superb goal. There was a corner deflection, but still, nonetheless, the thinking behind it and the way that he plays that ball into the corner of the net was just superbly done, you know.
That's the big man, big player for the big occasion.
He's a huge player. But let's not take anything away from Mandzukic, because honestly, that equalizer is worthy of any final. That's what I love football. Because the good players turn up, world-class goal, and turn up at the final. And, you know, sometimes you tell yourself, is the kind of goal that Giroud can score in the World Cup final or in the FA Cup final? I mean, you're not too sure. But
Giroud scored a scorpion, in fairness. We have to give him that.
Of course, but it was during a league game. You know, I'm talking about during the final. You know, you need to have balls of steel, you know, to do that kind of stuff. Because at that goal not being gone in, you know, it could certainly demoralize the team. But when you have a player like Mandzukic who's able to score a goal like that, to lift your team up at a very crucial point during the game, is very important for the morale of the team, but also for the togetherness. But the problem is we have a very special Real Madrid team who knew exactly what to do with Juventus, and they were able to systematically break them down, you know. And eventually, I think the better team and the right team won the cup.
Yeah. And it was kind of like Juventus, their defence was awfully slow against Real Madrid. Real Madrid had a lot of pacey players. They had like Marcelo down the left. They had Benzema, who's mobile as well. Ronaldo's quick.
Modric in the middle.
Modric, yeah. It seemed like Juventus couldn't deal with the pace, mate. That's what it seemed like.
They certainly couldn't, as the mobility of Real Madrid was outstanding, you know, and they just were able to outplay them and certainly to outpace them, you know. And the Juventus, you know, they've got very, very good defenders in Bonucci and also Dybala, who I also like very much in the midfield, also very good passer of the ball, but they just could not get into the game, you know. And Real Madrid were just so quick, so creative with their passing that they were able to break them down, you know, systematically. And, you know, after the third goal, you know, you saw that Buffon was demoralized. You know, Buffon had dreamt of lifting the cup one more time before retirement, but he was very apparent after the third goal that, you know, his head was completely all over the place. And and at that point he knew that he had lost the cup, because to go 3-0 down against, you know, an assembled team like Real Madrid is very difficult to come back from that. And he knew very early on at 2-1, of course, there's a chance of coming back at 2-2 and stretching the game. But once the third goal went in there, you know, it was practically impossible for them to come back. Yeah,
because to be honest, apart from the Mandzukic goal, they didn't really have much chances though, Juventus. Can you remember chances? I can't really remember many chances.
Not many chances. You know, Real Madrid were just too strong for them. They were also very determined to win that game, you know. And Allegri tried, you know, but he was a bit puzzled about himself, you know. But look, you know, we've got to give credit to Juventus because they, you know, for an Italian team of Juventus, you know, substance. Look at
Pascal, sorry to interrupt. You know, I was reading some reports online, and a lot of fans were saying that Juventus were trying to play walking football.
You know, let's face it, they're only as good as the league that they play inside. You know, the Serie A is no longer the league that we used to admire. You know, the teams are going through big transitions. The Milans are not as good as they used to be. The owners are changing, you know, and the league in Italy is not as competitive. So, you know, you got to give credit to Juventus for coming all this way to the final, because I certainly didn't expect them to be that far, you know, to go that far. But the Italians have always been very good at producing good organized team. And it's the kind of team that is needed for those kind of tournaments. The problem is they lack the flair, they lack the kind of
the pace,
the pace, of course, but also the weekly competition that allows Real Madrid, you know, to play against week in, week out. And you know, Real Madrid have to play against the likes of Atletico Madrid. They have to play against the likes of Barcelona. You know, in Italy, there's not that many teams that Juventus can compare themselves against. You know, during the league, they seem to be quite comfortably winning the league, you know, year in, year out. And I think that it's probably a problem in Italian football that needs to be addressed, and the investment in Italian football needs to be done. But hey, it's not for us to decide. But, you know, look, Juventus will be there next year. You know, they may come stronger. I think that was probably a chance for them to win it, because I expected Juventus to put on a better performance. But Real Madrid is certainly still the team to beat when it comes to European football and Champions League, you know.
Indeed. Now, Craig, Ronaldo, that boy Ronaldo, I know you're not a big football man, but everybody knows that Ronaldo is a magnificent player, once-in-a-lifetime player.
Yes, Ronaldo, he's a very good player. When I used to snip in and watch football now and again before, I do know Ronaldo, and he's very fast, very talented, and dedicated to his sport, of course.
Plus he gets the chicks.
He does. I see why he's good. I see why he's got money. He's not a bad looking fella, you know.
Yeah. Well, well done Juventus. Now, Pascal, a few transfer rumours. They're talking about Mbappe to Arsenal for 87 plus million. It's not going to happen, is it? Let's be real.
Well, you see, from Kibe, I can tell you that that's not very much the case. Lacazette, in fact, is the player that Wenger is trying to sign, you know.
Yeah, of course, the cheaper option.
There were reports that the Mbappe was just a smoke screen, and it was probably trying to get Mourinho or to get Abramovich to sign the player. But
bro, that was just trying to get a few likes on Instagram, bro.
It was a decoy, you know. It was a decoy. There was no way that Arsenal would spend £100 million on Mbappe. You know, although, you know, he was voted one of the best dribblers in Europe this season.
Oh, Mbappe.
Mbappe, super player.
He looks like Henry, man. He looks exactly like Henry.
He looks like Henry, probably plays like Henry. When he plays FIFA, he probably selects Henry. You know, I mean, he loves Henry, and he modeled himself on a great player. So, you know, credit to the young man. I mean, there's talks that he could potentially go to Real Madrid. Zidane is a very big fan. There's a lot of clubs around the world, you know, certainly in Europe. The big boys in Paris Saint-Germain are interested, but, you know, it's a controversial move from Monaco to Paris. I expect Mbappe to play abroad, you know, and I can certainly see him in Spain, or maybe even in England. You know, it's possible. You know, he wants to play in England. He's always said that one of his dreams is to play in the Premier League. So we can potentially see him, you know, coming to England. To which particular team, I don't know. Only the agents can broker the best deal. Manchester City, they can afford him. Manchester United, they can afford him. Who knows?
Well, speaking of Manchester United, there's talk of Morata going to Man United. May that would be some signing, especially if Zlatan doesn't stay.
If Zlatan is going to be out for a very long time. He's got a cruciate ligament operation and so on. So he's going to be out for at least 9 months. And also you have to consider the rehabilitation, the time they need, and the game time and the fitness time. So Morata, Manchester United will be a very, very good buy. Certainly after the rumors talk on Griezmann has fallen through. But Morata is also a big admirer. Conte is a very big admirer of Morata. So and Diego Costa could potentially leave Stamford Bridge as well this season. So I could certainly see Morata in England. But where would he prefer to be, in London as opposed to Manchester? I would probably see Morata at Chelsea than Manchester United, to be honest.
Yeah, then a cold night in Manchester when it's raining.
Could potentially be cold, but Chelsea are the reigning champions. They're going to be in the Champions League. We know that they'll be competing at the highest level. And I'm waiting to see who Chelsea are going to be buying, because they've just sold a very young man, Solanke, to Liverpool. The England under 20 or under 21-year-old, very good prospect. He's recently joined Liverpool. And the England under 21 team also performing really well in the World Cup, and they'll be playing Italy in the semi-finals, so they're playing really well. So there's a lot of opportunities. There'll be a lot of players changing clubs throughout the summer. But I think I'm very keen to see what Arsenal are going to be doing. And I'm also very keen to see what the rest of the competition are going to be doing, because it's going to certainly determine how well Arsenal will do next year.
Yeah, Arsenal will be scratching about Wolverhampton market, mate, for some cheap signings, mate.
I'm not so sure. I think there could be some surprise moves, some surprise acquisitions.
Right, we're gonna have to close the transfer talk. That's our time. I'd like to thank Pascal, Craig Richards. Join us again next week for another Pep Talk UK podcast. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
That's our time.
That's what